Hello and welcome back to our newest installment of, I guess I'm not sure what I'm going to call these DeFi videos, but this is going to be a video related to DeFi and more specifically, how you can use concentrated liquidity to earn some fees and potentially DCA into or out of positions. So this is a strategy that I've used before. Whenever, I did it mostly with Troll, whenever Troll was popping off. But it's something that I've used multiple times, not necessarily just with meme coins, but I find that you can do it, pretty easily with memes because, oftentimes they have a lot of volatility. They have a lot of volume that goes through them. But let's go ahead and get into it. So what I'm looking at today is this. So this is Pippin. And I guess, I'll give you a little bit of background first into the liquidity pools and how that stuff works. So the grand idea is, whenever you're providing liquidity for two assets, so in this case, I'm going to do Pippin and Solana. Whenever people trade using your two tokens, they pay a small fee to do so, and you earn a portion of those fees that are generated based on how much liquidity you're providing to the network. Okay, so that's the bare bones of it. But whenever we get into more granular ideas, there are two different types. There's full range and there's concentrated liquidity. Okay, so in a full range liquidity, let's say you're going to put $200 worth of liquidity in or whatever you're going to use. That $200 is spread from a price range of 0 to infinity. Okay, so in this case, let's take a look at this price in SOL. So what we're looking at here is this price range, or this current price of 0.003479. That is how many Solana make up one Pippin. So one Pippin is worth 0.003478 Solana. Okay. So, if you're providing range, like a full range liquidity pool, your capital is being used from down here at 0 all the way up to infinity, you could say. So whenever you're dealing with something like very low cap like this, that is incredibly inefficient, because if we're taking a look at the price history here, this is the local top right but here, you know what I mean? So anything above this, if you have capital that you're trading up here, it's not being used efficiently because there's no trading going on up there. Same thing with down here. If you got liquidity down here, it's not being used efficiently. So it's also kind of null and void. So the idea of concentrated liquidity came in to kind of fix this problem, this efficiency problem. So one important thing to realize with liquidity in general, providing liquidity, and it's even more pronounced in concentrated liquidity, is that whenever you put your assets into this pool, you put them in a certain ratio. Okay, so whenever you're doing full range, it's a 50-50 split. Like you go half Pippin, half Solana. As the price fluctuates within your range, your pool is going to sell off the stronger performing asset and collect more of the weaker one. Okay, so you can think of it like this. Whenever people are trading, they're trading their tokens against the liquidity pool. So if people are buying more Pippin, what they're really doing is they're taking Pippin out of the pool and they're putting in Solana. Okay, so you can see how that works mechanically. Like the price of Pippin goes up with the buy pressure, and there's less Pippin in the pool because it's being bought out, and there's more Solana because that's what people are replacing it with. Okay, so you can use this rebalancing of the pools as a little method yourself as well. So what I'm going to do here is this, and again, I've done this quite a bit in the past with like Troll and a couple other tokens. But ideally, you want to go with something that's cranking out some volume. So in the past 24 hours, Pippin has had 8.3 million in volume, which is pretty good, especially when it comes to the meme game. I know whenever I was doing this with Troll, it was anywhere between 5 to 10 million, and I was absolutely crushing it. So whenever we talk about this sell-off feature, this rebalancing of the pools, that introduces what is called impermanent loss. So impermanent loss is, you can think of it like the difference of in your holdings if you were just holding those two tokens in spot holdings or if you have them in the pool. Okay, so the difference being like, if you put your Pippin in a pool and then Pippin just skyrockets out of nowhere, at some point once you hit your upper range, your assets will have sold off all for Solana on the way up. So whatever you miss on the upside counts towards that impermanent loss. Same thing for the downside as well. But you know, the real killer here with any type of liquidity pool is the impermanent loss. The difference if you were just holding the assets to see the true price appreciation versus having those two tokens in a pool, what the difference is, you know, plus or minus the fees that are generated in that time as well. Okay, so one strategy I like to use is, you know, and I guess let me rephrase this a little bit or back up a little bit. So impermanent loss does exist in full range pools. It's just extrapolated out over a great distance. Okay, it takes a very long time for your pool to sell off 100% into one token or the other. Whenever you use concentrated liquidity, it concentrates your liquidity or your capital into a specific range. Okay, so what I mean by that is this: you can set your ranges. So like these lines that I have here, these are the ranges that I'm going to look at for the pool that I'm about to set up. But basically, how this works is this: like if you're on the lower range, that means Pippin has gone down against Solana. So people have been selling Pippin into the pool, taking out the Solana. So at the bottom part here, you're in 100% Pippin. As Pippin starts to go back up against Solana, people are buying the Pippin out of the pool and replacing it with Solana. So once you hit your upper range, you're going to be sitting at 100% Solana. Okay, so the strategy here that I'm going to talk about today and what I've used plenty of times before is you can consider it like a dollar cost averaging out of a position while earning fees on the way up. Okay, so what that looks like is this. Let me go over to Radium here. And we'll take a look at Pippin. I have already gone through and I've swapped about 175 bucks worth of Sol into Pippin. I'm just going to set up with a little, a little bit of a example here. Nothing too crazy. But let's see, 0.25%. I think we're going to go with this same deposit here. We're going to use that same setup at 0.25%. Oh, that's a full range. Never mind. Never mind. We're going to go with and it's very low liquidity, but we're going to do that anyways. It's large relative to the liquidity pool, which may lead to arbitrage in your position. Yeah, we'll use this 2%. So what I'm looking at here is this. So this is like the fee rate, so with more exotic pairs, it actually is probably better to go with this like 2%. This 0.25%, this is for full range here. This pool is full range. So whenever people go here to swap these tokens, they're paying a 2% fee to do this. Ideally, if it's a more liquid token, there's a bunch of different pools and a lot of participants. People are going to opt for the smaller of the fees. It's the trades are going to route naturally through whatever's the cheapest. But because there's only 20 bucks here, it can only facilitate small trades. So there's only very small trades going to route through this. You might have like the note just said, an arbitraging on your position. So in that case, I'm actually just going to use this one here. This 2% here, $170,000 or $180,000 in liquidity. So we'll go deposit on this. Okay, and let's take a look at this here. I need to see this in Pippin price. Like right now it's showing this is how many Pippin to make one Solana. Actually, I need to look at it like this. Okay, so 0.00348, 0.00348, that's pretty close. Okay, so what we're looking at here is this. And actually, I guess let me go ahead and put my numbers in. 3142. Okay, and then my upper range, 5453. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So price can drop by about 10%, and it can go up by about 60% before I'm out of range. So as long as the price stays within the range that I have set here, I'm going to be earning fees in more Sol and more Pippin. Okay, so with this current price here, again, the price of Pippin can drop almost 10% against Solana, and it can go up almost 60% against Solana. If they're moving at similar rates, then I'm good for a longer time because the ratio remains the same, and there's not much fluctuation. So the impermanent loss or this type of mechanism that you see, it's a little bit more defined if you have like it's Pippin in USDC or it's Sol in USDC. Using a volatile asset mixed with a stable coin, that's where you kind of see a little bit more of that fluctuation there. I'm just going to go ahead and max this out, about 200 bucks. Actually, let's see. I need to revisit this. Let's do 350. I want to save some in spot just because, and I don't have enough soul in there. I want to save some in spot because, you know, if price rockets through my top, I want to still have some of that upside exposure with my Pippin as well. So that's cool. We'll leave it like this. And you can see right here this deposit ratio. So I'm in 81% Pippin, 19% soul. Okay, and you can that makes sense here. That's about, you know, 81%, 19%. Good. So the whole idea here, as long as price is trading within this range, I'm going to be earning fees. And ideally what's going to happen here is this is going to come back up and maybe touch this upper limit here. So I'll be making fees this whole time. And then whenever we get up to this price range or this price limit, my pool is going to be in 100% Solana. I'll come back here, I'll withdraw from my pool, and then I will have DCA'd out of my Pippin position into Solana on the way up. Okay, let's go ahead and see what this looks like to set up. I'm going to wake my ledger up. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and create position, confirm deposit. And boom, boom. Okay, cool. And approve. Okay. Awesome. And then you get back this NFT that represents your position. This is for concentrated liquidity, of course. We can see, yep, my tokens have been taken. I'm in there. So if I go to my portfolio now, I'll see that this is my position. This is my projected APR based on what, you know, historical price data. And then we'll see, you know, we'll see how it goes from there. But you can see these two purple lines here. This is the most recent 24-hour price range. So in the past 24 hours, prices traded within here, which is good. That's within my range too. But then you can see, you know, this, can I zoom this out? No. This shaded box here is my range in general. So, but we'll see, you know, I'll check back in with you guys over the next couple of days, let you know how this is going. You know, the biggest downside here is, let's say price keeps dropping and goes down below here. You know, at this point, if I get down into, let's say, you know, a 25% drop, at this point, my pool is going to be in 100% Pippin, and it will be dropping the whole time too. You know, so that there is a little bit of downside risk here as well. But, you know, if you set these pools up as close to single-sided as possible, that kind of limits some of that downside risk. Because the idea here is that, like, you know, Pippin, I'm sure it's fine. You know, I'm not too big of a meme degenerate nowadays, with the exception of signs, I guess. But, you know, the idea is that as price rebounds back up, I'll be taking advantage of some of that price action and be able to DCA out into profit on my position as well. Okay, so this is an interesting strategy you can use, and you can use it the other way too. So let's say, you know, maybe I'll just look up, we can use this chart. So like if I got into this position right here with all USDC and then set my lower target down here as well. So essentially think of it like this. You're getting in with 100% USDC or Solana up at the top. And then as price is dropping, your soul is being traded for more Pippin, more Pippin, more Pippin. And then whenever it gets down here, it's in 100% Pippin. Okay, so you withdraw from the pool, or, you know, you could leave it in as well, but you could withdraw from the pool, and that would be essentially like DCAing into Pippin at a specific price target. It's a little bit kind of like an automated way to DCA by using price action, and you're collecting fees along the way too. You know, so that being said, this is a little bit more of an advanced strategy for people that might not understand liquidity or concentrated liquidity, especially. I guess to give a little bit of a plug to where you can go to learn some more about this stuff. Of course, I'm like the lead. I guess you call it developer. I use that term lightly, but I'm the leader for the signs. There will be signs CTO. We've built in a lot of coursework into our protocol here. So I'll just show you real quick. To get into the elite privileges, you have to hold, I want to say 3 million tokens. It's like $150 or something like that. We'll just take a look. I'll give you an estimate for real. Just so I'm being legit here. We'll say, so if I go about $100, not bad. So you can get access to all this information for $100. That's crazy. But anyways, so you go into here to get elite access. You have to have 300,000 tokens. I'm sorry, 3 million tokens, which is about $100. You can go to the intermediate courses here. and I have this Liquidity Provision Academy here. So this walks through everything: impermanent loss, fees, incentive structures, full range, concentrated, whatever else. I'm going to be going back through and redoing this with video examples too, similar to what I'm doing here. But yeah, so if you're interested in checking out how to do this stuff, interested in learning more about concentrated liquidity, and again, like I'll come back in here and show you guys in a couple of days, like what I've earned in yield. If I'm down or up in my position, we can kind of test it and see how well it's actually worked out. But again, this is something I've used before. This is a strategy you can use to earn a little bit of passive income while you're waiting on overall market movements to take place. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can get a hold of me here. You can get a hold of me on X. That's linked in my bio here as well. But yeah, looking forward to the next one. I'll keep continuing to bring that DeFi knowledge. So that being said, have a beautiful rest of your day. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.